right behind me is not the Bitcoin chart. If my camera would work, I'm trying to point at these triangles, man. It looks like a kite. This is the SPX chart. I'm going to show you by the end of this Bitcoin portion of the live stream or this Bitcoin video why this might be the line in the sand, since my finger can't point there. This right here, or a breakage above the top triangle, breakage below bottom. While that, I mean, this literally might get all of crypto's next move. I'm going to show you what this chart is closer to the end. Also, not at the beginning of this portion, I'm going to cover another one specific line, not on Bitcoin, that I feel, because it's like the master origin line of one of the top coins out there, a BNB. I'll just let you know, there's one single line, even though it's not Bitcoin, it's not part of the Bitcoin analysis, it's a all crypto analysis, because it could get the spillover of 40 to 45% that I've been essentially expecting for quite a while now, and I expect it to happen before February. My guess is December 7th through the 15th, but I think we might be able to see what is going to happen on this one line, and I'm going to save that to the penultimate or the second to last thing within this Bitcoin video. But what we're going to first do is we're going to switch to the Bitcoin chart and check out, we're going to start bigger time frames, midterm time frames, and we're going to look at what's in play, and then we're going to zoom in to try to tell. We're not going to make guesses. So right now, this market phase, it's not about making guesses. I'm telling you, like, stop guessing it's going to go up. Stop guessing it's going to go down. Rather, make specific thresholds on when do I have a tradable edge? When am I like not just guessing as if I'm in a casino, right? That's what we're going to do. Because this market cycle phase, even though we should have a bearish bias, we're so far into the bear market where, honestly, applying that bias is not very helpful. Rather, having specific thresholds on which way a move is going to go. So we're going to focus our mentality along those lines. So let's dive into some Bitcoin. These are the micro time frames with tags, the vertical lines on what is coming up next. Before this green line, which is tomorrow morning, so today's Tuesday the 29th, before this green line, you have economic data coming out just an hour before, okay? And my live chart is only going, so just a heads up, I had my live chart open to all YouTube when I was on vacation or whatever for Thanksgiving. But as it says up in your top right corner, the live chart, it's only going to be available to the community members. So you won't necessarily just be able to refer to my live chart to see all this. You're going to have to build this out yourself. And again, live chart availability is both Discord tiers and the Cryptillion YouTube tier has access to that. So let's go back to here. So before this green line, you have economic data coming out. So you might get some bi-directional volatility early on Wednesday. So coming up shortly in 14, about 14, 15 hours, 14 and a half actually. On the same day, Jerome Powell speaks. Wednesday is going to be interesting, folks. Like, you might have, I don't think it's going to be monodirectional. It might be a clown show. High impact, it's not CPI or FOMC, super high impact, but it might be consumer sentiment or PMI, something to that effect. You have stuff coming out at 8:30, you're going to get some volatility on Bitcoin and and pre-market open of stocks. And then around here, you're going to have volatility on both sides because its direction up to the orange line will be the opposite of the big move after the orange line, most likely. Does that make sense? Or it just hits the orange line and goes both directions again. There are two general options. So we're starting on the small time frames, and my green screen is still acting funny. I almost have it fixed. Sorry about that, everybody. But Wednesday's going to be tricky. So if you do not have like 500 trades under your belt, it's going to be better just to sit out. I'm telling you, tomorrow's going to be a weird one. And not just in the morning, all day long. And the reason why you shouldn't feel so bad about if you're wanting to make money and, but you're newer and you want to use that data to practice, reason why it might, to try to entice you to consider at least not doing anything at all during that day for newer folks is it's probably going to land back in the middle anyway where it started. So you'll definitely have another trade. I don't think you're going to miss out on zoom up or boom down. That's the greatest analysis ever. Zoom and boom. I don't think you're going to get continuation is what I'm saying. It's probably going to land in the middle. Now, what are we looking at right here? If you want to put these lines on your chart, let me go to a bigger time frame so you can actually make it. So the vertical lines you could probably just not look at. I thought I just hid those sons of bitches. Yeah, I wouldn't try to copy the vertical lines, but here's what's going on. Now I'm going to show you what this is zoomed out. It makes so much more sense. Now watch. I'm going to take off my live chart stuff. Boom, boom. We have two general things going on. I'll take off the monthly 10 EMA. So our best fit bear market line right here, Bitcoin is dancing on both sides. Up until yesterday, it was mostly using it as resistance, but now it's on top of it looking like a support. So in very general terms, looking at this, you have two general options, just two general things that could take, we're talking the time frame of this 45-day mentality, roughly, maybe even 60. So what I'm about to show you is not in one day. It's going to take time. In general, go play up closer to the origin line and get rejected by it. I don't think failure patterns much above is going to happen anymore. That was a big possibility, but right now I think the best case is coming up to use this as resistance over in early December for a December backfill, because the monthly candle is going to close like tomorrow, right? So monthly candle closes, monthly backfill. So if Bitcoin has a red wick, or if Bitcoin's monthly December is red and it has a red wick to the upside, that means it's got to go up first, right? That's what I'm talking about. We've covered that on my channel a few times. I'm fully expecting 3 to 9 days of backfill, which means up in general, more green candles than red candles on daily and below the first, let's say 3 to 9 days of December. Does that make sense? And we've already covered that a few times. So let's zoom in here. What we're looking at. Okay, in general, the two ideas are, it's really three. You could keep scooting. So you could go up, you could go down, and you could go slideways. Not really, I don't think sideways is a real option here, but I would guess along this line, similar to how it did here for 60 days, slideways is an option. So you have two down options and you have one up option with a clear obstacle. And let me look at the time frame. About a month. So realize that there are three general things. So now I'm going to zoom in. Now you know what we're looking at. So it fell below the origin line, which we've covered on my channel. This is not good. It's now resistance. It must touch this red line or lower before it can sustainably stay above here. Like we've quote unquote proven this with live candles on 2-day time frame, watched it drop. A lot of people had interest in my origin lines and all that stuff. And so you might be able to search on my channel. I need to make a tutorial on that just in general to show people that it works. So I can always refer to it, but you might just search origin lines or watch one of my videos on that. If you're a newer person and you don't know how these work, I spend a lot of time over the months on different videos describing the rules. These have very specific rules and permissions. It gives permission to Bitcoin price, literally. And the rules have only ever been broken once. That was right here, because this wasn't real price action. So the rules are solidified. Wyckoff was the only time it ever broke the rule. And you can see it right here. It went below, so origin line here, it went below it, and it did not touch this origin line before it zoomed up. The only time ever in 13 years. All right, so now we know three things in general. Hitting the bottom of this fat zone with this origin line in the second or third week of December, around Christmas, as one general 45-day scope, right? The second one is it slides down and it just bleeds, right? Which alts at that point probably would bleed worse. but it slides and still hits the same origin line, the red one, but it's at 14.5 instead of a quick hurry one down at 13.5. And the other one is we move up first to about 18K. A small failure pattern, yeah, that could be 19K. Do you see that? So let's zoom in. Now that we know what we're looking at, I'm going to zoom into that part. I'm going to go to the 1 hour chart. So I could see something, you know, I wouldn't say it's going to go much above. I don't think it would go much above this price action from November 8th. So now you can see where one of my team leaders taught me this and re-taught me this because I forgot about it. But now you can see it over on the right-hand side where that wick was. Okay, so it's an exact price. So I don't have to fumble with this stuff. Anyway, so a failure pattern above this line very, very likely would not allow, like, it wouldn't go above this line very much. And if it did, I mean, then you're looking at continuation to the upside, which I just don't think is going to happen. You got to get down to get up. The next origin line down has to be hit. It's the rules. And there's no Bitcoin cartel controlling Bitcoin price while stock market zooming up to hitting all-time highs every month. Yeah, there's not going to be that sort of fake out. So on that scale, to the upside, this is what I can see over the 45-day time frame. Okay, so think of all this first part of this this analysis is 45-day time frame from now to the new year, roughly first couple weeks of January. I don't see it going above there before the next origin line's it, and I feel pretty certain about that. And even if it gets above here, I don't think it's going to be much more than a baby failure pattern, if not coming up shy, because lo and behold, what is here? The biggest, baddest EMA, the biggest, baddest single indicator of any time frame on a specific time frame of all. I don't think there's a more important one indicator specific to one time frame out there. I mean, the weekly 10 is it. And by the time price is trying to get up here, this could block it. And then it comes up shy. So how big of a difference would that be? So watch out. If Bitcoin starts coming up here, it might not hit my origin line because this weekly 10, so let me make this red so it's easier to follow. This weekly 10 could block it. And then what could easily happen is that as the weekly 10 comes down here, it essentially, the bulls and the bears form a fight. The bulls essentially are defending the weekly 10 once it gets above, and the bears are defending the origin line, and you get stuck. You get sideways price action after a bunch of big move up. You know, let's say get in a fight, and I would guess it's going to break down personally, and then it breaks down. But it would probably take a while. So if this move happens, expect it to go sideways at the top, closer to the origin line. I mean, and it could last weeks. I mean, I'm talking 6-8 weeks. It could be a while. Does that make sense? And you could have a bunch of moments up there. So here's why this would make sense from a whale perspective. Let's make this safe assumption. It's a fairly safe assumption. Let's call it that there's going to be one more leg down on altcoins and crypto, right? So let's take that assumption with my tobaccoless nicotine. So let's put that in a capsule and set it aside, but it's still there. With that assumption, you have to realize that before it goes down, whales want to invite insects to the party before killing them. So whales aren't nice where they might have let's say mosquitoes, where it has a fog machine that repels them and keeps them away. The bug spray of whales in trading is it's more like a trap. It's more like eating food, really. Yeah, it is a trap. That's why it's called, Tim, that's why it's called a trap. It's not bug spray, Tim. It's called a trap for a reason. Your analogy's stupid. Dirt to dirt. But anyway, so you can get a visual. of what's happening, what this would be like. You're inviting insects or animals to come, and then you essentially kill them. And so, but that's with the assumption that we set aside earlier. Does that make sense? So I really think, so it's kind of like gotta get up to get down, or gotta get down to get up. Any move up, counter to how I started this stream, stop making guesses on the direction, right? I'm being slightly hypocritical here, but at that level, it would trigger my midterm bias because this is an origin line. So at that point, I would start having a bias. This will act as resistance, right? But until then, zooming out, let me show you more clearly why. Here, this has similar origin lines. Oh, damn it, Tim. Watch. Here's why I would start making assumptions at that point. I'm gonna leave that here, but okay, look how big these origin lines are, right? Let's take off this. Let's get rid of that. It's in the middle. It's not close to here, not close to here. So when it's in the middle, check. Yeah, you can hear me. When it's in the middle, it could hit this one first or could hit this one first. But once it gets to the blue, I'm going to definitely assume and it's going to get rejected because those are the rules of it. But while it's in no man's land, I'm not making guesses. Does that make sense? Like, there's no reason to make a guess until it really hits one of these lines. All right. And then let's see here. Oh, I need to put that bad boy back on. And all of this, what I'm telling you right now, should keep you safe over the next 45 days. I'm forgetting one thing though. My mid-macro channel, and again, new viewers, I strongly recommend that you copy what you're about to see. Once I clean it up. Hold on, let me get rid of my origin lines. Put that on. Macro trend lines, get rid of that. So this is from my my live chart over the weekend, or over Thanksgiving. I had this rolling. So this green line right here, it's the same one that's right here. Lower time frame. So this is what it looks like under a microscope. Microscope, telescope. The telescope says, yeah, you could come up to hit the intersection of this blue line with the bull trap line. And what is that around? 18K. What else is there on the other chart? Within, say, a reasonable, the origin line. So it really is a for real target. Like, I've been saying this for a while. I still think that origin line needs to be hit, and it's all almost because of the original bounce off this origin line, or depending on the chart you're on. This one bounced off my best fit bear line, but because of that bounce, I think it needs to touch it one more time. These first 4 days doesn't count. It's after these 4 days, it needs to go sideways, then touch it. So, but with the meltdowns of exchanges, it might behave a little bit differently. It might just go sideways and down, or break down from here. Like I've shown earlier, there are 3 general paths. The most likely way per previous Bitcoin price action, that might not be what happens because you have other pressures. This is why I'm not going to guess right now. I wouldn't guess until it got there, right? I wouldn't start being confident, and making guesses until it got there. But I typically would be confident that that's going to be hit. It's still sort of my favorite option over the next 45 days, but there are so many pressures down that would make it behave differently. These shit changes, instead of shit coins, we have shit changes that hadn't existed before. And that's some serious shit. And it's very negative, right? Global environment, recession, the the aggregate yield 10-year, 2-year bonds for all major countries that report on it, the global aggregate, it just inverted. So global recession signals, like big ones, like multi-generational ones, firing off. War. What else is happening in crypto? Oh, I'm missing an obvious one. FTX. Exchanges. The hell? I'm missing an obvious one. What am I missing? There's something glaring. Oh yeah, it's Bitcoin's first ever bear market with the traditional market. Ever. So if there is I guess a best candidate, of a moment. So thinking of all moments, like you're comparing moments of Bitcoin history, and you're trying to pick, okay, this is the most likely moment that it'll act differently. I mean, this is a pretty good candidate for it not to touch this. So it's another reason why, in current position, I'm not going to guess where it is, right? I'm going to have thresholds. So let's break down the small term thresholds on where I think, where I would start getting more confident for trading purposes. All right, so this inverse head and shoulders looking shape here, just realize it is not horizontal. It's close. So you're going to see a lot of people talking about this, right? Just realize this is the neckline. So if you're trying to trade this neckline here, yeah, maybe extra confirmation, but I think acceleration will happen here. The neckline is tilted down. Keep an eye out on that. And the cool thing about trading that is, in the event of a fake out of the true neckline here being broken out, is I don't think the fake out would happen until after this line was hit. I think it would fake out above here if it were a fake out, because that's one of the three main ways that this shape goes, right? Either breaks out, breaks down, or does a fake out. Sometimes both way, either way, right? Could go up, could go down, could go sideways. New people, I know that sounds stupid to you, but I promise you it's not. It just helps you understand I don't have an edge. Therefore, if I'm trading, I'm guessing, and when I'm trading while guessing, I lose money over time. That's what it means. So it just helps you go, stop losing money so easily. Right? It really is what that is. It's an important statement. But the cool thing about the shape, though, is if somebody, not me, I don't think I'm going to try to trade long right now, but if somebody wanted to trade long, of this shape, you could trade a breakout of this line right here. And if it were to do the fake out version where it goes up and scream down, well, by the time it got above this next line and did the fake out above, your stop's already in profit. But if you wait to trade the horizontal one, maybe not so much. So heads up, keep this micro shape. So this shape right here, so this is what I'm getting at. Where are my thresholds where I'm going to start guessing before before it's hit? I mean, if it could get above this and use it as support, I'm going to try to trade up to here. But right now, it's below that neckline. I'm not going to trade up. If this really is the neckline, why would you trade up right yet? Or like with confidence, you can't. You don't have the edge, right? And then trading down, well, shit, it's just bouncing on this line. So we're left with an obvious state of no man land. There's fucking nothing to do. I mean, on 5 minutes and below, you can do a lot of stuff here. This is the no trade zone if you trade, I would say, 30-minute candles or higher. If you're looking at 15-minute candles and let's say 5 minutes and below, you can trade any time of any day, usually. You only need about 1.8% volatility or 1.5 on Bitcoin to make 5-minute candles work. But if you're somebody who doesn't look on 5-minute candles a bunch, there is no edge until this is broken down or this is broken above. Does that make sense? So when this is broken below, I have an edge to guess the downside. When this neckline that's tilted down is broken and used as support, so I might have to wait for that back test, really. But once it gets above here and uses this as support somehow, then starts curling up, then I have an edge to the upside. But as of now, I think I just mathematically and visually, visually demonstrated this really is a no trade zone on anything bigger than 5-minute candles. And these are the exact moments and the exact things you can put on your chart to know when you're not guessing anymore. Just when you're not blindly guessing. even if you make a guess with 90% certainty, it's a great guess, but you are still guessing, right? So it's all still a guess. Educated guess with edge on your side, whatever. It's the difference between being a gambler versus the house. The house doesn't have 100% odds, right? If it did, no one would go. You know, I assume they keep their odds somewhere in the mid-50s or something across all games. I actually don't know, but I would guess it's closer to 55%. You just need that mathematical edge over time to be really, really well. If somebody knows, leave a comment. I don't know what the average, across all games, the aggregate of a major casino. I know Blackjack has the lowest one. It's like 51.4% edge for the house. I think it's the best odds for the gambler. But anyway, what this is, the could go up, could go down, could go sideways. Ah, that sounds so stupid. You're the worst YouTuber ever. No. You just don't get it. I'm trying to help you. And you need to understand, for all those people who might be feeling that way, this right here and this right here is when you're no longer guessing. How is that not valuable, right? And it turns you from a gambler into the freaking house. What sounds better? Be the house, yo. Don't be a gambler. Know when you have an edge. And that is the main portion of Bitcoin. Now, the two things I promised to show you. Here we go. Shit, what were they? I know what they were, but I don't know what order. I said BNB first. Okay. So second to last thing I wanted to show you, what could get that move down is come on, BNB. Or if my brain could do the alphabet faster. Are you ready, everybody? What I'm about to show you is pretty valuable information. I know it's not Bitcoin, but this is like a crypto indicator. And it could get it perfect. I'm telling you, it could get it perfectly. This might be the absolute best line to be looking at, specific to altcoins, not Bitcoin. Okay, are you ready? And feel free to steal this, unless you're a content creator. And even if you are, and you want to use this shit, that's fine. Just say, I got it from this dude over here that you probably don't know it, right? Just don't steal my shit. But anybody else, like just casual viewers, pause this and take it. Like, save it on your chart. Okay, here it is. And no, this isn't some pride flag thing. That's not what I'm going for. Nothing against that or anything, but it's not what I'm going for. In case anybody's wondering, it's like a heat map, right? Like if it gets into the dark orange and red zones, that is your deep, that's one of those where you can just, with the assumption the coin stays alive and Binance does well, you can just let that shit rip the next bull market. Just sell every strike of second and third strike and fourth strike of bearish divergence on the daily of Bitcoin. You'd probably be pretty good. Okay, so which line is it? Pop quiz. Which line is the line that I'm going to talk to you about? This should be an easy guess, everybody. Because I've been talking about a drop that needs to happen soon. It's going to be about 45%. So if it needs to happen soon, that automatically means it's one of the lines close to price. Right? And I've already labeled it a different color than everything else. Boom, boom, boom. Zoom into here. Watch. November 2018. Ready? Watch. Can I go to the 4-hour chart? Let me go back. Yes. Watch out. Here's the line. Are you ready? Wait. Did it behave normal trading rules with below something? Failure rejection pattern, then dump? After you took out the punch low? Yes. It behaved absolutely perfectly to rules. Crypto doesn't always do that, but this did. Same line. 53% drop. Was it obvious? Yeah. Will it be obvious this time? Probably. I'm telling you, this might be the most important straight line in all of crypto. It could be. For now. The way I label that changes throughout the weeks or whatever, maybe even days. But right now, this might be it, folks. So let me zoom out so you can copy this if you want. And again, if you like this sort of thing, I mean, origin lines come from me and me only. And I have posted on my Discord community a whole bunch of these origin lines. Litecoin, now this, just a bunch of things, all the main ones. Now, XRP, even small ones like BPro, Trias, I have it posted, and you can just use Discord to search for it, but it should all be, you can just search in origin lines Trias on my Discord. You'll find it. It'll take you to either a daily update with it labeled, so you can always search for it, or it'll be in the tutorial section of the Cryptilian section. Okay, now, but here's the second most important interpretation of this. Watch, we're not quite done. For the immediate sense, yes, we're done. But once it crosses it, where is it gonna go? And this is another moment where I'm almost definitely gonna be able to make a follow-up video about a year to a year and a half later, just like I did with Solana. And I milked the shit out of my Solana stuff, okay? Right? And I'm gonna do it again with this one. Most likely. It's possible I'm not able to, but what I'm about to say, it's very likely going to happen. And a lot of people are gonna say, no way. Watch. So what am I about to say? Come on, we need to put mind reading on your resumes. Let's go. Think. After this line, where is it going? What color? Green, yellow, orange, dark orange, or red? And you can see where the major horizontals go. So if it goes down past yellow, then it's gonna fall real hard. But I think that the yellow line must be hit in this bear market. Does that make sense? So when this goes below here and it's obvious, it might zoom past this line, and this line, and smack this horizontal, the only one in this fabricated price pump, because Binance bought its own coin, essentially, right? I think that's obvious at this point. FTX and Binance at the same moments were buying their own coins. I think that's actually proven on chain by this point. Guy, Dylan, can't remember his, on Twitter, he's a big macro economist. Yeah, and anyway, I think that's shown very clearly in the, I could be wrong on that, but I think it's shown in the, what do you call it, the blockchain. Both FTX and, this is Binance buying its own coin. I think that's proven. Okay, but the only hesitation it had, the only structure it made was here. So you have a horizontal saying you need to touch this. There is no support here. You built a house on sand. It will crumble unless you go down just far enough and you stand on the edge of that cliff and you piss on it. You piss off the cliff, but you don't fall off the cliff. But you need to go on it like a little, like a boy would. Even full-grown men do the same thing. Whatever, we know we do. Like you need to go to that cliff anyway, good or bad. You need to go to it. I'm serious. It needs to go there. And if it hit this level after where they cross, so they cross on February 8th. And this is all about crypto. I know I'm on the Bitcoin portion. This is still technically Bitcoin. I've been saying for a while, Bitcoin, because of important lines crossing in February, it looks like February is going to be the bottom. And my follow-up showboat video won't be on that. I don't think I'll be right on that. But what does this also point to? February, where it needs to go horizontally and from an origin line, it has to hit that. No matter what, it's got to hit it. So if it hits it afterward, hits the yellow line afterward, just realize, yeah, okay, you can go below the yellow line, bounce here, and come back up. But if it comes down here before or right during this moment, right, somewhere close or before, which it doesn't look like it's going to happen too much before. But at that point, if it goes below and cannot hold the bottom of this what is that exact price? 119? 119.40 is a huge line. It will go down. I mean, it'll probably go to the orange then. I honestly, I don't know where it would stop. It might even go down below 50 bucks. So horizontally, you need to go back and build your foundation. From a origin line standpoint, which most people here know origin lines work, it's the most flirted with. So it's like the prettiest girl in the party, right? It's the most flirted with line out of any one. And the white line's the second, like, prettiest person at the party, right? It's most flirtation, most interaction. That makes sense? So it's going to be hit again. And for all of crypto, I'm telling you, just like last time, it might be obvious. So as of now, trading to the upside, this chart, what it says is you're kind of A-okay. It hasn't come down and used it as resistance yet. Making sense? All right, now the last thing I wanted to show you, shit, maybe I did forget now. SPX. So I usually use US 500 on this. I'm using SPX this time, the spot trade chart. Okay, in general, did I take my origin lines off? No, I did not. Man, I should have cleaned this damn chart up. There it is. Okay, in general, take a look. Look at how this moves on my origin lines. Take a good look. And feel free to copy this. Like, this is, as long as you understand the facts, as opposed to denying facts, that as of now, Bitcoin follows this chart very, very, very well. Particularly on lower time frames. This is very valuable free information I'm showing you right now. Okay. It's falling off of this one. What happened last time it fell off of this one? Meow. What happened last time it fell off this one? It accelerated. It bounced around and then accelerated. But it's going to hit the next one down, minimum. Does that make sense? And it's at this one right now. So if it goes below here, it's going to hit the next solid line. It happens 100% of the times. Like, that's how it works. And it will continue working that way. Does that make sense? And if it doesn't hit the next one down, then it'll probably get stuck in here for a while. Like a decade. Look, here to here. What is that? A decade. Right? Okay, so now let's zoom in. Watch. This is big, people. I'm telling you, this is huge. And you will not see this anywhere else on the whole internet. What I'm showing you. So, okay, now look. That same line, weekly 55, come on, baby. Come on, there it is. Already gone below it. Or below, that makes, damn. Wow. Already have gone below it. Big ass failure pattern. Lower high, broke. So let's zoom into this boy. Didn't get a perfect rejection. Went even deeper into it. I don't understand why anybody thinks this is, I mean, I just had some discussions in my VIP Discord today, and I guess there is permission for a little bit more of a rally, which could take Bitcoin up to 20K, I guess. So, and it would still be in line with everything bearish, a failure pattern above the weekly 55 EMA. Okay, so what I'm talking about right now is a shelf life. So formatting your brain to the time frame that I'm on so that we're on the same page. I would say 100 to 120. So about 3 to 4 months is the timing format of your brain with what I'm saying here. Not one day, not 1 week, about 4 months. It could happen within a week, but we're on the scale of 4 months here. Okay. So now we know this line is huge. It's a big deal. And this has to do with Bitcoin. I'm telling you, I know this is not Bitcoin, but this is going to lead the Bitcoin chart. This date right here is the date by which I think Bitcoin has to fall down. About the 15th of December. That's what this line is. All right. Bulls will defend this mid-term trend line going back from October 13th. The yearly lows, actually. Bulls are going to defend that. Bears are going to defend both the blue line and this. Like the battle line is at the origin line right now, right? So if the Bears cannot defend this line and they can't defend this horizontal just under it, that's your point where this is the point where acceleration starts. Because didn't you just see how it accelerated the last couple times at this line? It's the same line. But I don't think, so zooming in though, I don't think the acceleration would happen until this, which means it takes out the punch low. That's not a technical punch low because you're in an uptrend. So that's not a real punch low, I apologize. It's just not gonna happen until this. So it's not gonna be necessarily the same exact thing where it gets rejected, and then accelerates like on one candle after. I think it would look like this, watch. Let's say it goes up first, whatever. And then Bitcoin and all that has to, so boom, boom. So I think it would be obvious getting rejected by it, but the acceleration might not happen until that point. Does that make sense? And that's 38.90. So I think you will get the obvious rejection stuff here on that origin line. But regardless, these triangles, so if the market chooses, gosh, it just seems like it needs to choose a direction here shortly. Even if it's up for the first 2 weeks, like I'm thinking of December, regardless, the next move of crypto will have to do with, technically like this. It will have to do with this being broken to the upside or this being broken to the downside. If it happens soon. If price continues to stay stubborn and go sideways for a longer period of time, past this triangle and that trend line, which bulls would defend, then I would have to kind of move the ante. The next big move would happen below this line or back above the origin line. It would be bust up or bust down. But as of now, for the next, I guess the shelf life of what I'm saying is a 2-week period roughly. No, a 1-week period. If this line is broken in the next couple weeks, it's going to have a hard time. It's really going to be bearish because that means it would be with the news of Jerome Powell. He's speaking tomorrow. Like if it breaks down out of there in the next 6 days, it's not going back up to here. Does that make sense? But all of this is writing on what's happening now, right? Like it's the big decision, like a big move that I just showed you this line. Even on stocks, it's going to happen within about 100 to 120 days. And it could happen sooner. Does that make sense? Like we're about ready to get shit's about ready to go down. But the great thing is, after watching this, you should know exactly what's going to show it. So stop guessing if it's going to happen, like I have a couple times here. Stop guessing when it's going to happen, as I've been doing here. Just be free of all that and use these tools, and the timing as just a kind of a suggestion here. Use these tools to say, hey, there it goes. I'm going to start trading down now. Or, hey, there's the trigger to the upside. I'm going to trade up now until a different trigger happens. Just roll with it that way. And my challenge for you is, for this portion of the bear market, it's going to get flatter until the next big move down, right? Then it'll stay volatile for a while. But for now, it's going to be flatter. So when you have flat compression moves, stop guessing. Is that triggers? Then trade up. If the up triggers, trade down. If the down trigger. But right now, 30-minute candles and above, we're in no man's land. There's not jack shit to do. And I think this portion of the video proved that to you. I hope this keeps you safe for at bare minimum through the new year. Rock and roll.